Hello and welcome. In this video I will describe how to connect and set up the camera system consisting of the camera control unit, which today is the AK-HCU600, UCU300. Then we have a brand new camera, the UC3300, and as a remote operation panel we will use the RP1000, AK-HRP1000. So first of all we need to connect this equipment to the back side of the CCU. Therefore I will turn the unit and show the back side first to make the necessary connections to the CCU. So let's start to connect. As the first one, the power goes in here, then the picture monitor I connect on number 8, picture monitor out. So if I power on the unit now, we will hear the fan. So you can see in the small picture-in-picture screen, it's connected to the output of the CCU. We get this warning message which says cable open. This is very normal because there is no camera connected to this CCU. So once the camera is connected, this message should be gone. Okay, the optical cable, so both the cable end and the connector end are capped. We uncap. To prevent dust getting into the caps, we just put them together. Now you look to the red mark. There is also the red mark, so both should be on top. Okay, it's with an auto finding slot, so once they are correct you push and they're connected. By the way, to disconnect, please do not pull like this. You have to push the flange and then you can take off the connector again. That's how it's working. So by this cable we send all signals to the camera and also power, and also the video and returns, camera, picture, everything will come back by this hybrid cable. Next we need to connect the ROP, and we will do two ways. One, the most easy way is by serial connectors. So we take a 10-pin HIROS cable that we connect to the ROP output, remote operation panel output. We just click it in. But later on I also want to show you the LAN connection. So we also prepare already the cable in the LAN output, not in the LAN trunk, just in the LAN output. So now I can turn the unit back into its normal position. Of course, if you have an UHD monitor ready, you can also connect the UHD, but for setup, to see the menus, etc., the picture monitor output is good enough. For the camera we don't need to do so much. Of course, during the test setup there is no lens or no viewfinder attached, but it's just to make it working. There are two things we need to do as a minimum. First of all, for the power, we have to say to the camera, power will come from the CCU. Therefore we open the power door and we put the switch to the CCU side. That's that side. The other side, by the way, is for external power supply, 12 volt at 12 volt input connector, and the middle position is off. So we switch it to the CCU side. Then second thing we need to do is connect the other end of our hybrid cable. So it's the same idea. We uncap the connectors, we put the caps together to avoid dust getting in. Here there is the red mark, let me see, yep, the red mark. There is a red mark also on the connector. We just click together and voila, done. If you want to remove this connector, you take it with your hand, you pull with your fingers, and then you can take it out. So this connector has a retractable part that opens the clamp. So put it in again. So now the camera is ready. Let's just see. If I power on the CCU, it will send power to the camera after 10 seconds. So the optical level received at the camera is already okay. Now we wait for the CCU, and it says both optical levels from the camera and from the CCU to the camera, it is okay. That's a good sign. Now only thing we need to do is connect the ROP. Now we are gonna connect the ROP. So the ROP we can connect by serial or by LAN. The most easy way is by serial, because the serial cable we connected earlier at the back will also bring in the power. So if we do by LAN, we need to match the IP addresses, and it must be PoE to power the ROP. So now the ROP is connected. We power on the CCU. After a short time, the ROP will be lit, and it will say connecting to the camera, but this display will remain because it's not properly set up to connect to the camera by serial, even it's a new state. So we need to go just to menu, item 35 in this case, connect setting, it's 21. Then for camera 1 we select serial. There are many different serials for different types of camera, but because it's a studio camera we select serial. So we see there is already a camera 2 set in this unit, but it doesn't matter, we don't care. We set serial, and I can see it's still on camera 2, so it will not find our serial camera as number 1. So we need to use this button. If you push it long, this blinks, and then you can select several functions for this button: color, temperature, manual flare, etc. But we need cam select to be blinking. We push to confirm, and now we can use this button by rotating to change that number here to camera 1. So now camera select 1, I push shortly, and now as you can see we get all the there is no iris lens connected, so the iris doesn't move, but anyway we can confirm. Now we see the camera receive and the CCU receive level, so this ROP is working at this moment by the serial connection, and it's talking to the camera. The next challenge is to connect the ROP by LAN connection. So by this one, you remember the LAN cable we connected already at the back of the machine at the LAN connector, not the LAN trunk. So this LAN cable now goes to a little PoE inserter, and from that box we go to the LAN. Since by the PoE it's receiving power, it says it powers up and says connecting to the camera, but since the CCU is not powered on and since this unit is not to send to connect by LAN, nothing will happen. So first we power up the CCU. There are some things we need to know about the CCU. We need to know its LAN address. So let's go in the CCU menu to see the LAN address. This is the menu button, but the menu is locked after power up by user 2. This is set to lock the menu. So push some seconds and now we can access the menu. Then we go to by the rotary button, we go to maintenance and network and push. So we see the IP address of the CCU and in this case also the camera and also the port number. Okay, we're gonna copy this into this unit. So menu, maybe menu, then connect settings. So already I set to LAN. Remember we were in serial and now set to LAN. That is okay. Go one level back. Oh. Now we need to set camera IP address for this camera 1. So this value should become 20. Then port number already matches, but this is not always the case. There might be 80 here, then you have to rotate until the same value, and then if that is okay, we push to confirm. Please push encoder 3 to complete, and yes, immediately I get connection. So the green lights of the power and the viewfinder, which is not present, but anyway it receives power. So yeah, this is how we connect by LAN without using any software. Of course we have software tools to do by PC on a distance if you want. So now there is one important thing you need to know about the CCU basic setting. It can happen when you turn on the CCU that you get a warning. So I turned on the CCU, camera is like booting on, the camera optical level is okay, so the receiving level, and now after some time we see the CCU is not happy because it says the camera receiving level is not okay. It means the level that the CCU receives back from the camera. And also on the output number 8, so the picture monitor, we get a warning that the camera receive level is not good and there is a camera mismatch, camera connection mismatch. This, what the CCU wants to say to us, I am not set for the correct camera, because this CCU, it's the 600, you can connect several types of cameras. So we can connect the UC3000, the UC4000 and the UC3300. So this is a 3300 and the mode is set for the UC4000, so that's not compatible. So what do we need to do is first unlock the menu, then go inside menu, but because we always will have this alarm that will sabotage our menu settings, it's better to switch off the camera. And now we can go into the menu without any problem. This alarm is gone because there is no camera. We go to maintenance, then we select startup and we select the correct mode. Since this is a 3300, we need to select mode 3. Then the unit asks to confirm, then we say yes, and then we are forced to turn off power. Now if we turn on again and I switch on the camera, if we turn on again, this time the CCU should not go into alarm mode, but after boot up everything should be perfect. Let's confirm this. So optical level at the camera is already okay. Now we just need to wait for the CCU for these levels. So yeah, both levels are okay. And also the ROP is now awake, so the system is okay. So yeah, this completes the simply setup, the fastest way to set up the 3300 with the UCU600 and the RP1000. Of course, we did to connect now a lens and a viewfinder, and to do maybe white balance and shading and all this kind of adjustments before we can operate the camera fully. But anyway, this was just an explanation about setting the minimum setup of the system. So thank you for watching and thank you for your time. Bye bye.